What's going on, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. K-Rino. What's good with y'all on this Sunday night? I know a lot of y'all might be real shocked to see how early I am. See how early I am on this thing tonight. Some of y'all are probably really shocked, but I move when the spirit moves me, when the feeling hits me, that's when I act. And this is the subject that came to me earlier today. And because I was thinking about a few life situations that people go through, that I've gone through, where all we had to do is exercise a little bit of patience. And if we were to exercise a little bit of patience, just waited a little while longer, then the result would have been better than the result was based on what we actually did or something that we may have rushed to do. The old statement says patience is a virtue. Well, there's a lot of different virtues that you can have. You know, patience is definitely a virtue. It's a good quality to have because it represents a level of self-discipline that we have to use in life on certain decisions. And a lot of times we go through life having little practice runs where we get moments, small moments to practice utilizing our patience that hopefully can prepare us for the big moments. So that's what we're going to talk about today. It may be some regretful situations that end up crossing y'all's minds, some moments like that. But in the end, this discussion is to make us all better, including your big brother. So y'all hit the like button as y'all coming to the door. When you walk in the door, hit that like button. I like it for no matter how many participants we have in the chat, I like to make sure that the likes are equal because everybody that comes in, you know, if everybody comes in, hits the like button, then we'll get that going on. We're going to talk about patience and the penalties. And the reason why I said penalties, because it doesn't necessarily mean that you just had a detrimental result because of moments that you didn't show patience, but there are little small, little stinging little stings that hit you when you go, man, if I'd have just did this, if I would have just did that, things could have been better. A lot of times lack of patience comes from lack of knowledge and study and research of that which you should be trying to have patience about. Like, I'll give you an example. I'm going to lay out a few examples. Like, if you have an investment, if there's a particular investment that you invest in, and somebody tells you, well, man, you put this in, and in a few months, it could be this, it could be that. And it reaches that point and you say, okay, man, I've flipped my money. I did all right. You are presented now with an option, possibly hypothetically, that could say, well, if you just hold on, this what you have now in a few months or in a year's time or whenever, this thing is going to be way bigger than that if you just hold on. Now, the patient person might say, okay, well, all right, based on what you're saying, based on my own personal study and research, okay, I'm gonna be patient and take the chance and hold on to see if the reward will be greater down the line, right? But somebody who may be a little less patient or impatient, they might say, no, man, I'm cashing out right now. I'm gonna take what I got right now. And what they have right now might be cool. It's cool. But the person is saying, man, I get you. But trust me, if you just hold on a little while longer, it's going to be, as we say, greater later. Picture times when you were small, man, when you were young, and there may have been a situation where, you know, you had a chance to maybe get something, get a little toy or something now. And your mother say, well, man, if I get you this now, or if I let you go to this thing you want to go to now and spend this money to let you do this now, I know this big thing that you want to do later, but you're not going to be able to go to that. So you choose one. But the second thing is better than the first thing, but in your impatience, you ready to do what you want to do right now. So you choose the lesser thing because it's right in front of you in that moment. And then when that bigger thing comes, you miss out. And a lot of times when we miss out, we still get upset when we are the ones who made that decision. There are people who own property. I'm just laying out examples so I can build to where I'm really going with it as it relates to us. There are people who have owned property. I used to live in Third Ward in Houston, Texas, right? And back in the early 2000s in Third Ward, the process of gentrification was just starting to take place. They were just starting to really gentrify that area. And a lot of the homes and the neighborhoods in the Third Ward area, a lot of the apartment complexes in the Third Ward area, they had been there forever. They had been there for years and years and years, similar to how it is probably in y'all cities, right? But when they started to gentrify, that means that now you have people with money coming in, buying up those properties and redeveloping those properties, tearing them down, putting up condos, tearing them down, putting up lofts and things like that. And now certain areas that were considered to be what we call Third Ward were now called Midtown. They fancied it up. And now the property value increased. So there were people who had property in that area who sold immediately. When they came in to gentrify, you know, they came in and some people, they sold immediately. Now, the conversation of gentrification is another subject because I'm one of those people who believe in, hey, man, let's buy up the neighborhood ourselves and build a neighborhood up ourselves. We don't have to sell out to the outside forces and just lose our neighborhoods. But what I'm talking about is the principle to those that did. So some people, first offer, they sold their properties, sold grandma's house, sold a little patch of land that they had. And of course, we know the initial offers are going to be the lowest offers. There were other people who held out longer. They showed patience, and some held out to as long as they could, and the offers went up. The offers went up. And as time passed, some people held out for long, long periods of time, and some of those very properties that were worth, not worth, that were going for a couple of $100,000, or they may have offered them, those properties sold for $1 million or more because of the value in the location. So the people who made those moves, whether we agree with the whole process of gentrification or not, their patience, in other words, got them a bigger payday. Sometimes we make that mistake by accident. We just don't know. Sometimes we're just ignorant. We're just greedy. Or we're just dumb. Let's just call it what it is. And we make that mistake. But sometimes we don't have any idea. There are a lot of things that everybody on this chat can look at and say, man, I was in a position to do this, but I didn't know. And had I done this back then, this is where I would be now. And I'm going to connect it in a minute. Imagine it being 1984. Some of y'all might not have been born in 1984, but if you are not an adult or old enough to have some consciousness, we're going to act like you was. So picture yourself in 1984 and you have a Michael Jordan rookie card, authentic Michael Jordan rookie card. When the cards are first printed, authentic, right? 1984 is the year Michael Jordan got drafted into the league, right? So, okay, they print a rookie card for everybody. You can project that this guy's going to be good, that this person is going to be, he might be, but you still don't know. You get a Michael Jordan rookie card and somebody tells you, hey, man, you might want to hold on to that because we got a feeling that this kid is going to be one of the greats. So this card might be worth a lot in a few years. You might want to hold on to that. And then somebody comes along and say, well, man, I'll give you $500 for it right now. It's in 1984 now. I'll give you $500 for it right now. You can't see the future, so you may say, this dude might be good. He might be good, but I'm going to take this $500 right now. It's $500 right now. So you sell the card for $500, right? And you think you all right. You did something, you got $500. Then a year passes, another year passes. Air Jordans come out, commercials come out. This guy starts to become really, really, really great. And it starts to set on your mind that, wait a minute. I should have held on to that card that dude told me was going to be worth something. So now 10 years have passed. He's winning championships. He's reached that iconic status that he eventually reached. And those very same cards that you had, the original prints of those cards are so rare because a lot of people was like you and just didn't make a big deal out of them. Now the prints of these cards are so rare that it's not many authentic ones out. And you sold the one you had for $500. Now you see somewhere that an authentic original rookie card of Michael Jordan is worth $2 million. What's going to go through your mind in that moment, knowing that you had one in your hand, but you were not patient enough to see how the development and the maturity of it was going to process itself? What's going to go through your mind when you know that you potentially lost millions only to get $500 in the moment? Now, we do that all the time. We have situations, we have certain ventures that we do in life where we could either just move on it fast, hit a quick lick, because that's we about the quick lick. We want that immediate gratification right in that moment. But it's always a voice, whether it's a voice inside you or whether it's somebody on the outside of you that has more knowledge about the situation. Is always somebody who will go, well, man, if you just wait, this thing is going to be a little bigger and better. If you just hold on, I wouldn't move so fast if I was you. And a lot of times we know that what they're saying is the truth, but we want it right now. So we will settle for crumbs on the front end instead of just waiting for the big prize on the back end. We talking about the penalties of patience. That stings, man. The queen of the night. I see you. I see you. See, we do this with people. Picture this, and I'm not. And if there's how does that disclaimer go? Any similarities to anybody living or dead are strictly, they say, coincidental. I don't believe in coincidence. It's just strictly not directed at nobody personally, because I don't know y'all personally like that. Not all of y'all. But picture this. I'm going to keep it in basketball. Keep it in sports, right? Picture a man having a child, and then he decides, man, I don't want nothing to do with this child. I don't want to be a part of this child's life. I'm out. And people are telling them, hey, man, you should stay around and raise your son, man. No, don't do that, man. Don't do that because y'all are having a fallout in life, you and the mama. Don't do that, man. Be there for your son. Oh, man, I can't do it, man. She be tripping, man. Whatever it is, right? And instead of having the patience to work through the situation with the other parent for the betterment of the child, you decide that you're just going to not deal with it at all. Then this child grows up to be a superstar NBA player. Child grows up to be Venus and Serena. Child grows up to be a neurosurgeon. Child grows up to be a top-notch world-class attorney. Child grows up to be a scientist, an astronaut, a world changer. And then you look on with regret that you were not a part of that child's life because you didn't have the foresight or the patience to remain in the fire, because eventually the fire is going to go out. Now, I know what some people are thinking. Some people might say, well, man, you know, it was meant to be that way because if he would have stayed in the child's life, it might have took a different path. You're right. Maybe. But maybe not. We do this with people. Can I tell y'all a personal story? I don't normally do this, but I'm gonna tell y'all a story about patience. When I was a young cat, I was probably like 19 years old. True story. 19 years old. And it was a young lady that I was interested in, and we was cool. She was interested in me. Looked like we had something popping. Talked all the time on the phone, hung out. I was broke, didn't have no money. She still liked me. Genuine. Liked me for me. She was broke. I didn't care. I liked her for her. And all we did was talked on the phone or hung out. I may come to her house, sit with her, whatever. That's all we did for months. And we was developing a bond, like a strong bond, really getting to know each other, becoming friends, but still having that attraction to each other, like this could go somewhere, right? Now we young, let's say, 19, whatever. But one night, my dumb self, I go hang out with some friends, right? We go hang out, me and the homies, we go hang out. We end up at some female's house, right? Get to the female's house, it's lined up. Y'all know how it was back in the day. Somebody set you up, hey man, come on, man. Come. She got some friends. You know how it was back in the day. Or we were asked, hey man, your girl got some friends? She got some homegirls? Get over there, it's lined up. 3 on 3. One for you, one for you, one for you, if that's what you want. I make the mistake of participating, right? Word gets back to the person that I really, really like. She done with me. It's a wrap. Over. No second chance, right? Because she was disappointed in the fact that I chose the quick gratification at that time, which really wasn't worth it, over the potential of a long-term relationship that could have been valuable for the long run because of the connection that we had established just by being friends first, knowing each other. The physical attraction was there, but we hadn't got to that part yet. But when you're young and impatient and stupid, then you just feel like, oh, it's just taking too long. And in being impatient in that moment, I lost a good one, see? You lost a good one. See? Because she, even at a young age, she understood her own value. So the thought process changed, like, well, yeah, I've been investing all this time with this dude, but if it's that easy for him to just, then I made a mistake. He's not the one. And I wasn't the one. And I never ended up being the one, right? But patience and the foresight, if I would have had the foresight to go, nah, this ain't worth understanding what I already had or potentially had. We could have got together and still couldn't have worked, but it would have been better than that little one-time blast back then. So we do it with people. We do the same thing with people all the time. We make that mistake because we want what we believe to be the immediate reward, the immediate payoff. And in a lot of times in seeking the immediate payoff, you lose down the line. You take that L. And when you get older, you start to recount all of the times where you had moments where, man, if I would have did that, man, if I'd have invested in that, man, if I'd have been patient right here, man, if I would have stayed with her, man, if it's a female, man, if I would have stayed with him, he was a good man. I was playing games. I was acting silly, and he put up with all that. I let my friends get in my ear and tell me that he was a good man. And now he's married to somebody else, and they living the life that you probably could have been living. And I'm not talking about the material aspect. I'm talking about the aspect of having a good person that's for you, that's going to be there through the thick and the thin. See? Penalties of impatience. Because one thing you got to understand about life, man, talking to y'all. You know, the older people on here know, anybody who's been through some stuff, they know. But if somebody is on here young, because like a lot of times I see a lot of y'all on here when I do an age check. A lot of y'all are 21 and 19 and 25 and may not have been through a lot of this stuff. But you got to understand something, man. You only get a few golden opportunities in your life in every category, whether it be certain people, whether it be certain job situations, other options of life, just pivotal moments. You only get a handful, and when you start to trick them off, it's like scratching something off a board. It's like, that's one gone, that's two. It's like a cat. When they say the cat got 9 lives, and me and my homie was talking about this cartoon earlier today. Y'all ain't old enough to remember this cartoon called Frady Cat. It used to be a cartoon called Frady Cat, and the cartoon started at the point where this cat, he had already lost 8 of his lives. He was down to his last one. He had been killed 8 times, and he was down to his last one, and he lived his whole life just in fear. Like, he didn't want to do nothing because he was down to his last one. That's how it is with a lot of opportunities, man. You don't know if you're going to get another shot to do something that you wanted to do or achieve something that you wanted to achieve, but you squandered your window either through being impatient, either through being ignorant. Both versions of ignorant. Ignorant meaning you just didn't know, you didn't have the knowledge, wasn't your fault, or being ignorant. The difference between ignorant and ignorant. And black folks know what ignorant means. Matter of fact, everybody should know. Or, like I say, you just don't appreciate, you don't have the foresight to look down the line and see and explore all of the options in the initial moment. You have to you got to try your best to look at all of the options in that moment, not just one thing. Give you another example, like through the rap game. You a young upcoming artist, you coming up, you doing your thing. But picture this in business too. You have a certain skill to where you in corporate America, you at a regular job, whatever you at, you work at Office Max. I don't care where you work at, but whatever the case is, you're really good at it. But in this case, we'll say rap. So you coming up, you selling your albums in the hood. You everybody loving your music. You're starting to grow. You start to gain your social media following is big. Your YouTube channel, people listening to your music all the time. You're developing a fan base. Now you start to attract the attention of major record labels. They're like, man, we want to sign this guy. So they come to you with an offer. Just like I said with the gentrification, they come to you with that initial offer to get you to sign that deal, and the offer is never going to be in your favor. These are vultures and snakes and devils that are going to try to get you to give up as much as yourself as you can that's going to benefit them, and you will receive the least. But the fact that you never have had an opportunity like you think you're getting, they place this off on the table to you. You're smart enough to take it and say, well, give me a minute. Let me go talk to some people. Let me go look at something. You might show it to your mama. Mama can't understand the terminology in the contract, but mama got sense enough to say, well, baby, just didn't you say it was 2 other companies that like you too? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. It's this company, that. Well, why don't you wait to see what they offer? Well, they said that I got to make a decision today. I mean, they say they ready to sign me now. They ready. Well, just wait. If they ready to sign you today, trust me, they'll be ready to sign you when they're not just going to throw you away because you won't hurry up and sign today. And you should be cautious anyway with somebody that's trying to rush you. That's another part of life. If somebody is trying to overly rush you in something, come on, man. Come on. What you gonna do, man? What you gonna do with you? Like, hold on, man. That's you too shady for me. So if we don't look at the opportunity and the details of the deal and say, well, man, hold on, they want to own my publishing. That means my writers' royalties. I don't get any of my publishing in this deal. Wait a minute, they own my master recordings in this deal. Wait a minute. You shouldn't sign this, man. Somebody telling you that. Then you go, but man, they're gonna give me $100,000 up front though. Okay, yeah, I see that right here. I see they're gonna give you this $100,000 up front. But do you know what the word recoupable means? No, I don't know what that means. Recoupable means that everything that they give you, they're going to recoup that on the back end. They're going to get that back from you. So this is not a bonus. You got to understand the difference between an advance and a bonus. An advance is we fronting you this. You got to pay that back. And you don't get anything until we get that back. Man, that's $100,000. And you sign it. Impatience. And it don't take long for you to be in the deal now to where you understand that you signed a bad deal and you should have waited. You should have waited. You could have got more if you would have played hardball, if you would have had more strength in your negotiation. People do that on jobs all the time. People do that when they're making business transactions. We get so scared that we're gonna lose a bad deal that we rush to sign or rush to take on a bad deal because they don't include all of the information when they offer you the deal in the first place. So the saying goes, the grass ain't always greener on the other side. Say, yeah, man, the grass ain't always greener. Or some people will say, well, yeah, man, the grass was greener on the other side. Sometimes when the grass is greener, it might be greener, but it might be a snake in it. We talking about the penalties of patience, y'all, and why it's very important to not rush into decisions that can be life-changing for the good or for the bad. Don't rush. Do a thorough check, a thorough study of whatever it is that you're interested in doing or whatever it is that's presented to you by somebody else. Somebody could offer you a job. Hey, man, we want to make you the manager. Oh, the manager. You get hypnotized by that title. Oh, I'm the manager. Then you sign on to be the manager and your life becomes a living hell because of all the stress and the responsibility that goes along with that position. And now you don't have a life. You gotta stay late and get there early, and that little money boost that you got, now it's no longer worth it. You don't even care about that no more. See? You don't care about that no more. Because your well-being starts to kick in. And there are some situations where you gotta you may have to move fast, move immediate, but you have to be real careful in that, man. Drop y'all's locations, man. Let me know where y'all at. You know, I like to know where my people are located at. 19 Zodiac Killer said, Elijah said, think 5 times before speaking once. Beautiful words. He's talking about the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, think 5 times before you speak. But that also applies to before you act. Now, you may not always be able to just think in a moment of fast-paced, rapid situations, but you have to do your best to think as fast as you can before something comes out of your mouth or before you do something on an impulse. Thought travels at the average speed of 24 billion miles per second. So thought moves fast enough for you to process in times. So thinking a situation through is key, but studying a situation also is key. San Antonio in the building, Honduras, Michigan, Scotland, Waco, Bellevue, Washington, Little Rock, Southeast Texas, Mississippi. What's ED? Fairbanks, Alaska, G County dollar bill. I don't even want to talk about these beats dollar bill been sending me, man. I don't even want to talk about it. Houston, Texas, via Dallas, Rasulullah in H-Town, Ohio, Pasadena, Memphis. 318 Opelousas, my brothers. LA, California. That was a rapper just killed in LA, man. That was a rapper just killed in LA. What's his name? Kevin, if you know. I saw his name, but I forgot. But definitely want to shout out and send condolences to yet another fallen rap artist, man. Athens, Georgia, New Jersey, Humble, Texas, right up the street. Oregon. Drakeo the Ruler, that's his name. Drakeo the Ruler was the name of the rap artist that was killed in LA, man. So another one, yet another one, man. Never heard of this brother, but it definitely don't matter. And that's another aspect, believe it or not trying to intentionally tie that into the topic, but that's another aspect of patience. Sometimes we have to, because I don't know the situation, I'm not connecting this to him because I don't know none of the details. But a lot of times when we involved in problems, we involved in certain little situations with people and beefs or whatever, you have to work your way through those situations and not immediately thrust yourself into the highest level of drama. I do a lot of analogies about life, and I use sports as analogies because I'm one of those people who believe that there are a lot of principles involved in certain aspects of sports that directly apply to life, and that people can take those principles and gain understanding and become better through those principles. Sometimes patience is about allowing a situation to just develop. Let's just see where it goes. Don't be so hasty. Just hold on. We quick to bail out, or we quick to dive head first in when it's too early, to jump in, or when it's too early to bail out. And it's like a quarterback running a play. And the quarterback drops back to make the pass, and he sees something that don't look right. But instead of just, I'm gonna take off running and try to get the first down, or instead of, oh, this is a busted play, I'm gonna throw it away. A wise quarterback, an experienced quarterback, will have patience in the pocket and allow the play to develop. Okay, if this happens, this receiver is going to break open at this particular moment. Now I can, boom, I can hit him, because he allowed the play. He had the patience to allow the play to develop. In your life, you got to allow the plays in your life to develop. Things might not be going the way you want them to go in a particular moment, but if you can look at the what's called the trajectory, and the trajectory only means the path, the flight path, the level of the flight path. If you can learn to read the trajectory of certain life situations, then you can have the understanding of how you should let that play develop. Don't bail out too fast. Don't dive in too fast. Relax. Think. Patience. Impatience leads to, in a lot of situations, regret. It leads to regret, because we'll feel like, man, if I would have just, God. Where's the OG? He's not on here tonight, so I won't tell the story, but there are things that we don't do that we wish we'd have done. And there are things that we did do that we wish we wouldn't have done. Time for me to see what y'all are talking about. See what y'all are lending to this conversation, because I don't like for it to be one-sided. Kevin M., do you know about Point Blank? He would rap with you back then. Point Blank still rap with us. It's my brother. We still active, still doing our thing. You must have been off the scene, Kevin. The gospel made a great point about patience. Sometimes in life, another sports analogy, we have to learn to do what's called taking what the defense gives you. So we know who Tom Brady is. Just hollered at one of my homies who loved Tom Brady. He said he wouldn't come on live stream because Tom Brady is playing. Gospel said Tom Brady would throw deep, or he'll nickel and dime you down the field. And for those who don't know the football terms, nickel and dime means he'll just take little short passes. Boom. If it ain't nothing but a 5-yard pass there, give me that 5. Or the 7-yard little outside line, boom, give me that. Impatience, I want to hit the home run. I want to throw the bomb every time. You can't do that. You can only live one moment at a time. One moment at a time. They say the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. You cannot travel 1,000 miles on one step. You have to slowly grow and work and build towards that goal. And eventually you reach that 1,000-mile destination. But while you're on that 1,000-mile journey, it's going to be people that's riding with you saying, are we there yet? How much farther do we got to go? Are we almost there? I got to use the bathroom. I need to stretch my legs. Because they're impatient. But you have to go through the process. And what the process does, the process teaches you the ins and outs of a thing, but it also allows you to absorb and appreciate, as they say, the journey. It strengthens you in your character, and it gives you a wealth of knowledge and experience that allows you to teach other people who haven't walked down the road or getting ready to walk down the road. Let me acknowledge this love real quick. Hold on, I don't want to miss nothing. But it allows you to become a teacher. It allows you to become a teacher. Travel and Work Channel, I appreciate the love offering. One of my favorite lines. You the first person to ever mention that bar, man. I won't be happy till I see you entering your exit. Everybody don't catch all that stuff. Jimi Hendrix. Oh, we were supposed to meet up today, Jimmy. Email me when we get off. Let me know if you're still in town. And Mogul Maze. Appreciate the love, Mogul Maze. Thank you so much. We have to. My audio been coming in and out, y'all. Have y'all been able to hear me? I see Abby said my audio is coming in and out. We have to make sure that we develop that attribute of patience. Now, don't wait too long. Don't poison yourself into a delusional misrepresentation of what patience is. You got to know when to move, but you got to also know when to just hold on. Y'all just hold on. Impatience is one of the things that is plaguing our community in this day and time. And what do you mean is plaguing out? What do you mean by that? What I mean is that picture us, particularly like, black folks, we living in the hood, we living in tough conditions, systemic conditions. So somebody who may be suffering from lack of resources, lack of income, lack of opportunity, they may feel it necessary to involve themselves in illegal activity in order to just survive, in order to have some money in their pocket. It's impatient. Man, I got to do something now. I got a little baby, man. I got to do something now. Desperation kicks in, and you go outside your character and your nature, and you start selling dope. Or you start robbing and jacking. Or you're a sister and you start stripping, selling your body to get some money. You are impatient. And it's penalties that come with that. So as a result of that impatience, you get arrested for selling dope and you sit in prison. As a result of trying to get some fast money, you link up with the wrong dude and he do something unspeakable. when we don't put enough trust in the Most High to make a way for us, or there is a way for us, but we don't want it. We don't want that way. We don't want that way because, man, I ain't finna work at no Wendy's. Man, you crazy. Man, if my homeboys walking Wendy's and see me back there with that little hat on and that uniform, they gonna laugh. They gonna, priorities are mixed up. It's way more honor in working at Wendy's than it is selling poison to your own people. It's way more honor in picking up aluminum cans and crushing them, bagging them up, and selling them based on the weight. It's more wisdom. It's more. I'm reading. Thank you, OC. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you. It's more honor in doing that. Not having to look over your shoulder. Not having to live with the fact that you poisoned somebody's mama. Not having to live with the fact that you are contributing to the downfall of your own community. All because we didn't have the patience enough to say, okay, I might be making $200 a night. Now I'm working at Burger King making $300 a week. But if you understand that Burger King is not the ending goal,